Peace be with you. Welcome to Living Flame podcast website and Facebook group. Dear friends, we are in the Octave of Easter, Gospel reflections for Wednesday. Gospel taken from Luke chapter 24 verses 13 to 35. What a fascinating story of these two disciples who are traveling towards Emmaus. From Jerusalem to Emmaus, it is said that the distance is 10 kilometers to 12 kilometers. In some other versions, they say it is 36 kilometers. These two disciples were traveling and it was evening. They were saddened. Why they were saddened? Probably their expectations were all defeated. They saw the death of Christ. And it is on the third day they were traveling towards Emmaus. And Jesus practically sneaks into their company disguised. They cannot recognize him. But then Jesus is inquiring about what they were talking. And these two disciples were surprised. Are you the only one who does not know all those things that have happened in Jerusalem? And Jesus says, what things? And they try to tell him all the things about Jesus, who was a great prophet who worked wonders. And then he was handed over to the chief priests and the elders. They persecuted him and he suffered and died on the cross. And they recount also certain appearances of Jesus here and there to the women, but they did not find him. Jesus turned now to explain, how foolish are you? Dear friends, the foolishness is there in the world all the time. There are lots of people who perhaps do not have to think about God and faith. Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, the power of the resurrection. What gives us real happiness and joy in spite of all our failures, mistakes, and miseries? It is the resurrection of the Lord. And that's why the Lord instills in their heart, without disclosing his identity, how the Son of Man had to suffer and die and enter into his glory. And of course, when they were very close to their village, Emmaus, the two disciples say, come and stay with us, it is evening. And Jesus enters to their home, and at the breaking of the bread, they recognize him. Fantastic news. And when they recognize him, he disappears from their sight. Where did he go? Of course, we can interpret it as he entered into the bread. The resurrected Lord is in the Eucharistic bread. He is always present to us. Each time we break the bread, dear friends, it is the resurrected Lord who gives us strength and power. That's why we find these two disciples were so enthusiastic. They did not even think about going to Jerusalem next day. They got up immediately, the same night. They were fearless. They were filled with that power, enthusiasm. They were encouraged to get back to Jerusalem to give this good news of the resurrected Lord. And they went back, walking the same distance, most probably hurriedly. They knew something extraordinary had happened in their life. Jesus touched them and their lives were totally transformed. Going back to Jerusalem, a city that was the center for so many reasons. They were going to Emmaus, discouraged, disappointed, dejected, perhaps without any hope. But now returned to Jerusalem, they want to proclaim that the risen Lord is around them and he appeared to them at the breaking of the bread. A great lesson to all of us, dear friends. Each time we participate in the Holy Eucharist, it is a moment where Christ fills us with that power of the resurrection. And therefore, this is a great inspiration for us from these two disciples that we should never miss the Holy Eucharist on Sunday, where we will be encouraged, empowered, strengthened, and we will get that light of Christ to go to the whole world and proclaim the good news. Going to Jerusalem is for us to go to our societies, to the place of work, to our families, to our neighborhood, to our community, to wherever we are invited. And that is where we can show and we can announce that Jesus is risen. God bless you.